I'm not going to speed through it, though. I'm going to try to catch the essentials. My name is Michael Jerlin. I work as the CEO and Chief Customer Success Officer at a company called Voyado. I'm really old. I've been with the company for 15 years, which is basically from the beginning. And my marketing manager told me that you need to present a fun fact about yourself. It's kind of depressing to understand that you don't have any funny things in your life at all. But I do have to say that I'm a kick-ass table tennis player, so I'm hoping to find a table here around the venue, so maybe we can have a good game. All right. Voyado is a company that works with a software that creates customer experience. We do have a laser focus on the retail business. So that means that we don't do hospitality, we don't do banking, we don't do insurance, we don't do B2Bs. We are deep in the retail business, and this has helped us shape our teams, our product when it comes to personalization, communication, and creating great customer experience. We've been in Sweden since 2005. We entered the Benelux region 4 years ago, and we entered UK and the Irish market 2 years ago. Since then, we've been able to help a couple of brands to create more relevant shopping experience. But that is not the focus today. We're not going to talk all that much about Voyado. I would like to take the time to highlight some key industry trends, the importance of working with data-driven insights, and showcase how some of the brands that we worked with have been able to drive results with omnichannel loyalty strategies. So the main objective for this session is to create inspiration. And if you feel inspired after the session, please visit our booth. If you stand up, you can see it just behind here. It's really nice. And I do have to say that there will pop up some numbers here, and percentages and diagrams and graphs and so on. Those two, the data sources for those two are basically the retail radar report that we do twice a year on all our markets, and the customer insights program that we run on our side, where we feed back insights to our customers based on the retail industry. So let's start off with the first chapter. The basic premise here is that we want to frame loyalty as something that is bigger than just collecting and rewarding points. There are some key fundamentals when it comes to creating great experiences. And this is mainly about exceeding the expectations that the customer have. We are all customers, so we want to feel engaged with the brand, and we tend to break them down into 4 experiences. First off, we have the rational one. I want to get something back for my investment and my commitment. It's very rational. Could be monetary, could be something else. Then we have the functional one. Then we have the emotional one, that I want to connect with the brand. I want to be proud to be invested in this brand. I want to sit around with friends during the after work or at work talking about my fine clothing, to be emotionally invested. We have the functional one. My shopping trip and my experience should be smooth, and it should be easy to find what I'm looking for. And then last but not least, it should be joyful and entertaining, that we get something extra out of it. It should be fun to be a customer. On top of this, and trust me of this one, if you get to know me, I will say the phrase, I love data, over and over and over again. But it is important that you feel that you are in control of your data, because you will need to be able to verify, you will need to validate, you will need to test. So it's essential that you have access to all relevant data points. But don't stumble, because it's equally important that it shouldn't be too much. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you will need the foundation. This is kind of kicking in an open door, but through our reports and our customer insights, it's very easy to draw conclusions. Loyal and identified customers, they do have higher purchase frequency and higher spend than non-identified customers. Easy as that. On the diagram here, you can actually see that loyal and identified customers decrease the number of days between their purchases compared to non-identified customers. And traditionally, this was this was important for in-store experience. It shifted to omnichannel, but now we even more so see pure e-commerce players wanting to work with loyalty in a totally different way that they had done before. And just to list a few examples how you could work and what you could work with to not fall into the trap to just talk about raised phones, I like that. I'm assuming you're not taking selfies. Just to inspire that it doesn't have to be discount, cashback, or monetary. It could be other things. And, of course, in order to inspire you with all this, I'm going to showcase a couple of good examples that hopefully you can take home with you. So we have a customer called Love Stories. They made sure to go the extra mile when it comes to VIP treatment, and I mean true VIP treatment. So this goes well beyond the traditional notions of reward points and vouchers. So in their flagship store in Amsterdam, they have a fully furnished apartment which they give access to their VIP members when they have events. You can imagine the buzz that this creates on social media and the blow up. So this is something really, really nice. And it's just a note here, it's worth mentioning that 50% of their revenue comes from recurring customers. So they have definitely touched the emotional side on things. Then we have, I actually brought a pair of jeans here. So everyone knows what this is. How many here owns a pair of jeans? Yes, I know the question to this. How many can relate to this? Yes, you know what I'm talking about. So Nudie Jeans didn't overcomplicate things. This doesn't cost overly much. This is like, they offer free repairs forever. They don't have discounts, they don't have cashbacks, but as soon as you sign up to their loyalty program, you're guaranteed free repair for life. I only own Nudie Jeans, and that is because I know that I will never have a problem, because I can just hand them in, and they will fix it. Super nice. And once again, coming back to data. So when it comes to collecting data, you shouldn't stop with just sign up and registering purchases. Each repair in this specific case is stored as a data point in their CDP. And this is a super valuable data point that you can use for segmentation, personalization. They do yearly wrap-ups, your year in jeans, which is really, really nice. Doesn't provide anything, but it's nice to have a brand that connects with me, and that's nice. Yeah. The second chapter, how omnichannel behavior and profitability is related. And I mentioned kicking in open doors previously. I'm going to do it again. But this is essential. You need to train your staff, because all of your brilliant ideas from HQ will never reach their full potential if the customer doesn't feel that the experience is coherent. So the in-store staff plays a crucial role, being like the end point of your interactions with customer. So make sure to train the staff in order to explain things like your loyalty status, how to redeem, and especially how does this all stick together, both online and offline. If the in-store staff doesn't know this, the customer will react and think that this is a bad experience. To highlight this via an example, another customer of ours is Samso. They did have super strong in-store purchases, but they didn't have any insights. What they did is they strengthened their technological capabilities, because back in the dinosaur days, where I come from, revamping your technological landscape was really, really complex, and it took time, and it was expensive. Today, it is not. So they centralized their data, and they adopted fully to making data-driven decision. And on top of this, personalization, automation, and this massively increased their customer retention, which is good for them and good for us. So back to Love Stories again, since I love them so much. They think differently, which is really, really nice. So they stepped away from the traditional marketing funnel, and instead they talked about a relationship with the customer. They translated this approach into something where they met customers where they are in a totally different way. And from my perspective, the most valuable thing that comes out of this maybe could be how they address this internally. So when they talk cross-department at Love Stories, they all the time they come back to the fact that we have a relationship with the customer. It's not just a data subject in our funnel. So they optimize every stage here in their relationship from a different angle. I'm not saying that you should all go home and do this, but it's just a nice with perspective sometimes. And I do have to say again, 50%, the revenue, recurring customers. So they're doing really, really great here. The final chapter here, since we covered the loyalty components and how Omnichannel fuels profitability, let's look at some tips and tricks. Because we all know that returning customers is a secret sauce when it comes to making money. So I would like to address a case by Marlene Birger. They wanted to welcome customers and make them feel like they're a part of their community, once again the emotional part, but they also wanted to perform an easy split to understand what types of communication triggers what kind of end result. So what happens in practice here is an email is sent after a sign up, and if a purchase is made within a certain time, they're sent down one path. But if the customer doesn't purchase during that time, one out of two things can happen. Either the customer receives an offer or a discount on their first purchase, or a reminder of the member benefits. This particular split test showed that the ones received the reminder generated more revenue than the discount. So what I'm trying to highlight here is the will to test and experiment to make sure what works for you. And then you can just say that it's a nice bonus and a nice touch that obviously by Marlene Birger's customer database is more sustainable and not bargain hunters. And that's good. I mentioned our customer insights program, and we all know that during the post-purchase automations are really powerful. So open rates are higher, click rates are higher. We don't see any difference when they come to the specific content, but where we do see difference is where you mix offers and benefits together with the care guides and the more personalized communication. So that's just something to take with you. And here are two examples on Nudie Jeans and Morris, which is a niche fashion retailer in Stockholm, how they underline more and more the relationship with the customer instead of here's 10%, here's 20%, here are double your points. They talk about the relationship with the customer. So I know that running a little bit out of time. So like I said, nice. It's a bit of a contradiction here. And this is why it's so important to work with data, because we do see differences whether if you discount upfront or if you do discounting for your next purchase. Either way, discounting is a super powerful tool to raise open rates, click rates, and so on. But it's momentarily. It's not sustainable. Whatever works for you, that's for you to find out. But once again, we sit on the data. So if you're interested in accessing this report and also accessing the report that we're releasing later this fall, come by our booth and we will fix that up for you. So just to sum things up, today we have talked about loyalty as something bigger than just rewarding points, purchases, cashbacks, discounts. We talk a lot about emotions and the memorable experience with the customers instead of just putting it out there. And also how super powerful it is when it comes to communicating sophisticatedly with the customer in the retention phase and finding the balance between quick wins and a sustainable customer base. So be sure to scan the QR code, join the raffle. If you sign up here, you will also get access to the retail radar, as I mentioned. And at 4 o'clock today, we will announce the lucky winner at our booth. That's all for me. Thank you for coming and your patience.